Everyone, this is Elisa from Anaya's Toy Box Crochet, and I want to talk about color changes in Amigurumi. Now, there are 4 ways to color change. I only did examples of 3 because the other way is kind of, it's fine. I just did examples of 3. So I'm going to show you exactly how I achieved all 3 of them, which one I think is the best way, and to show you how to do it. So there's 3 ways that you could color change. This, as you can tell, is no longer round. This is not the way to color change, but I'm going to show you how it is done just so you can see it. So here I have a little swatch in which I did the exact same pattern as all 3 of these. These 3 are all the same pattern. The only thing that changed is the way I did the color change. So just to show you the best, there's no example here, but the best way to do your color change is to cut your yarn and tie off your ends. So I added the green. You know what, so I added the green here, over here. So I had a little tail and I cut the purple. So I cut the purple, I tied a little knot. It doesn't matter how messy it is. This is going to be inside and it's going to be stuffed. It doesn't matter that it's messy. You can do this all the way around, all the way to the end, and you will have a perfectly nice, beautiful round ball. But these examples I'm showing you for those people who just don't feel like cutting and knotting every single row. Yeah, that's me. I don't feel like doing that all the time. So I'm going to show you how to do the color change. And I lost the beginning of this yarn. All right. So at the end of the round, it's time for my color change. I will take my purple yarn. Look, I didn't complete the stitch. If you notice, I have two loops on my stitch. I started my single crochet, but I didn't finish it. I will finish it with the purple. This will give us a beautiful color change. Instead, if you don't do this, you'll have a jagged line. Let me show you. Okay, say you don't do that. You finish your single crochet like this, and then you add your color, which I lost again, like this in the next single crochet. What you will have is this line coming over on top of the purple, and you don't want that. So what you do instead is you color change by you put your hook into the stitch, you yarn over, pull it up, and on your second yarn over you will put the next color, in this case the purple yarn, and you'll pull it through with this, and so you'll finish the single crochet like that. That is how you do always color changes. So now we're going to talk about how to do this. So you're going to finish the round, which I'm not a fast crocheter, so this is not going to go very fast, but I will talk to you while I am doing it and you can watch me do it. So you're going to finish your round. In this case, I believe I'm doing single crochet increase. I hope I do it right, because seriously, I am not good at talking and crocheting. You know, there are some people who just like talk and crochet all the time. I remember once I went to, my neighbor's party, and my neighbors, and the whole time this lady was having a conversation and conversing with everybody at the same time. And I found that really fascinating. Now I did it wrong. Didn't I tell you I'm no good at it? Okay, this is the beginning of the round. That was the end of the round right here. That was the last stitch of the round. The beginning of the round is not single crochet increase, it's 2 single crochet increase. So I'm going to do 2 single crochet, and I'm going to increase right here. And I'm going to go all the way. I'm going to do it 3 times, and then I'm going to come to the color change. And I'm going to show you how to make the color change. Seems like I lost a ball. So it looks like this, which is a big no-no. You do not want to do your color change in that way. All right? So my yarn is still attached to my piece because I did not cut it. It is still over here. So what I did in this is just kind of like pull it like this. Now this is an exaggerated version. Your version of doing it like this is not going to look like this, because you're not going to pull it as tight as I did. But you know what? You just need to pull it a little bit and it will deform your ball. So I'm going to, this ball is going to have all types. So you will see how it's already, you could kind of see it. It's already bunching a little bit. So that is one way to do the color change, which is the no-no way. There is, in very few situations, I don't know, like my hot air balloon, I changed the color change like this, but on purpose to make it come in. But beyond that, there's very, very few times that you will want to make a deformed ball. And even if you don't exaggerate it like I did here just to show you the difference, you will always have this, okay? So the other way to change your color change, which is this one right here, is to carry your yarn. So what does it mean to carry your yarn? Oh, look, I did it again. This line. Okay, so what does it mean to carry your yarn? It means you're going to take the tail of your second color and you're going to hold it behind your yarn and you're going to continue year round. So this one, I believe I am at 3 single crochet increase. All right. I forgot my pattern. Okay, let's just pretend it's 3 single crochet increase. All right, now you could already see, look right here. In this one, you could see that the pink kind of shows through. See how the pink shows through? And here you could see the cream is showing through. It's showing through, it's all over. Here, I only did a few stitches, but you could see the blue, the green, I mean, is starting to show through a little bit. And that's what's going to happen if you carry your yarn. So I'm going to make this round entirely with carrying the yarn. This is easier to see when you have a light color and a dark color. You will see the yarn below. Now, I have lost count. Where am I? Yeah, okay. So I don't know if the camera is picking it up, but you could see the green yarn. If you look really closely, you could see the green yarn. It's really small, and for the most part, it will be very small, but definitely if it is in front of you, it's noticeable. Okay, so now I'm at the last stitch. It's time for me to switch yarns. I'm going to do that, and now I'm going to carry the purple. The purple you may see more of. Now this is a perfectly fine way to do your color changes. If you want to work your entire piece with this type of color change, there's nothing wrong with it. You will at times, like for instance here in this stitch, you see the purple. Now I can make it so you don't see the purple, but it's a little harder to do that when you have it in every stitch. You risk the, like if I tug at it, I can get rid of that purple, but the risk will be that I will deform the ball, just like similar to this. So you don't really want to be playing around with it too much. This will work. It will work, but if you look carefully, you will see like little patches of purple is sticking out. Just like in this one, which I did the entire ball like that, where I carried the yarn behind. You could see the pinks. You could see little specks of pinks. At least I hope the camera is catching it. In this one, I can definitely, the green is very subtle, I think because it's a lighter color, but the purple I can see. So here is what I do instead. I'll write down the pattern of what I'm doing down below, so you don't have to worry about counting and everything. This is going to be a round of single crochet all around with no increases. And so what I do instead is I will go and do like 3 or 4 stitches like this, and then I'll bring the yarn in on the next stitch so it's there under. And what that allows for me to do is, remember I said you could tug the yarn a little bit in the back, like loosen it or tighten it a little bit. No, this one isn't showing at all, but if it was, I could just loosen it a little bit or tighten it on either side just a little bit. And because I have those few stitches in between, I can do that in an easier way than I could have. Okay, I can't see the yarn, but I think that's from the round before. So let's go do a couple more stitches, and then I will show it to you again, where I'm going to put this there, and then I will just tug at it a little bit so it's kind of loose at the back and it stays at the back. And what I will get is this, where if you look at it, I worked with yellow, which is a light color, and maroon, which is a dark color, but you don't see anything on the white, nothing. Whereas this one, you see pink specks everywhere. If you want to see pink specks, go for it. If this is the effect you want, go for it. But in general, color changes, you should like do 2 or 3 single crochets without it behind, and then do a single crochet, and then kind of just like tug at it and manipulate the yarn a little bit. And then you will have color changes that look like this. Now, the perfect way in this particular pattern to color change is to cut your yarn every single time you color change, and to tie up the ends of both colors. That is the best way to do it. You will have no anything. Everything will be perfect. This way, that way though, tying up, for instance, on my Sheldon pattern, if you ever bought my Sheldon pattern, which is the turtle, there are places where I just do 1 single crochet and then I change the color. Can you imagine how annoying it would be to cut every single crochet and tie it up? I think it would get really annoying very quickly. So by not carrying the yarn in every stitch, but every few stitches, it allows you, it's going to be a mess inside, but who cares about the inside? You're going to stuff it and close it off, and no one will ever see it. So who cares if there's a mess inside? Let there be a mess inside. Have it with these little loose pieces hanging around all the way around, and you're going to get this. Do you see the mess? It's okay if there's a mess inside. The way where you drop the yarn and then pick it up when the color change goes, this is again exaggerated. I did pull tighter than anyone would normally do, but I did that to prove a point that there's always a little bit of a crease like that. I have done this way. I have done all 3 in my projects, and I liked this way the best. And this is the way I do it. I don't know, for some reason, I don't like stopping and cutting yarn and tying it up, because I feel like if something happens, like I make a mistake down the line, I'm going to have to frog it all. I'm going to have to frog it all, and I'm going to have to throw out those yarns. And because of that, I would rather do it this way or this way, where I take it every few stitches, I put it in behind my single crochet of the color I'm using at the moment, and just kind of loosen these stitches. I prefer that way of color change. Now you can use whatever color change you want, except for this one. Please don't use this one. You work so hard on your pieces, you don't want it to get deformed by using this way. This way, again, is where you just drop it all together and you pick it up at the other end. You don't want to do this. If you want to do these, be aware that you'll be able to see some of this color that's held behind. You'll be able to see it coming through. You could see it here too. You can see little specks of white. If you want that effect, go for it. But for the most part, you don't want that effect. You want it to be clean, smooth color changes. You want to use this effect. This one, again, is where you skip a couple of lines, skip a couple of single crochets, bring it, loosen it at the back so that it doesn't show through. And if you need to frog it, you're not wasting any yarn. That's just my opinion. You can tie it up in every single way or color change if you like, which is what I did at the beginning, and that is perfectly fine. That is a really nice way to do it, and that is a beautiful way to do it, and you will have a perfect ball. Or you could do it my way. I tend to get distracted a lot when I'm crocheting. I have 2 children. I have a 5-year-old. And there are times when I'm paying too much attention to the 5-year-old who I'm crocheting, and I see, oh, I made a mistake there, and I need to frog. It happens. If I'm designing, I definitely need to frog. I always frog when I'm designing. So I don't like the idea of putting myself in a corner by knotting up the yarn every single time, because I feel like I don't have room to fix any mistakes that I make in my design, or any mistakes that I make because I'm distracted while I'm crocheting. So I prefer every few stitches I hold the yarn behind and I do my single crochets. But how you do it is totally up to you. Just be aware you could get specks. You could actually just how you do it is totally up to you, but please don't do it this way. It deforms the piece that you worked so hard to make. You don't want that deforming. But you could do any of this, or the cutting in after every color change. That's up to you. I just wanted to show you the differences and how you could do your color changes, and hopefully you love it. You want to make a piece that you love, period. You want it to look amazing. You want to love your piece. And so these little hints will help you love your piece. So for me, I always use this method of color change, which is, every few single crochets, I will hold the alternate color behind, single crochet on top of that, and then continue all the way through. I will do it on both sides, so the whole back of my piece will look like this, where I have little pieces of yarn like this hanging out. And I'm fine with how messy it looks inside. This is not a way I would recommend to anybody. This is not the way to color change. This will deform your piece. This one, you will be able to see the color through. So if you want clean color changes, this one is not the way you want it to go. But if you want it to be speckled, if you want that idea of, oh, I want to make a dress where it looks like there's little pink speckles on the pink and little cream speckles on the cream, then by all means use this method. That's perfectly fine. Or if you want to be able to have the flexibility to change your pattern or fix your mistakes if you make a mistake, then use this one, which is you don't see any of the maroon going through. You can't see any of it, because every few single crochets I did work the maroon behind the yellow, and then I manipulated it just a little bit by tugging a little bit to make it a little loose inside, so that you don't see the yarn through. Anyways, I hope that helped you with your next amigurumi project. Please like the video if you like the video. Please subscribe to me if you want to hear more from me. Bye.